everyone. Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming. Life is divine. Be the mirror. Life is divine. In fact, both life and God are synonymous. There is no God except life. And there is no life except God. God and life are two words for the same mystery. But for centuries, religious people have been against life. They are in favor of God, which is unknown and unknowable. Life you can live. So they are against life. They are against love. They were living with the idea that to choose God, you have to renounce life, you have to renounce love. You have to sacrifice life, you have to sacrifice love in order to be with God. This is utter nonsense, but we have lived with that. Because of that conditioning, millions of people could not be religious because they could not renounce life. It is not possible. It is so unnatural to renounce life. Life is your very being. How can you renounce it? Life is your being. How can you renounce it? Only very few people who were neurotic became religious. The healthy person remained unreligious. The religious people created such barriers for healthy that only the ill, the mentally perverted could get in. My whole effort is there to destroy that whole nonsense and conditioning so that you can learn how to love and how to respect life. How to love and respect life. Initiation is not renouncing life. Instead, how to have a tremendous love affair with light. Initiation means tremendous love affair with life. The deeper you live, closer you come to God. The more passionately you live, the more divine you are. The intensity of your life and your living is the only way to reach God. Remember, initiation is not renouncing life. Instead, it is tremendous love affair with life. And deeper you live, closer you come to God. More passionately you live, more divine you are. The intensity of your life and your liveliness is the only way to reach God. Nothing has to be renounced. Everything has to be lived with deep awareness, totality, and understanding, because escape is not the way of growth. Nothing has to be renounced and nothing has to be abandoned. Everything has to be lived with deep awareness, totality, and understanding, because escape is not the way of growth. Therefore, all those who have escaped from life remain psychologically immature. Maturity is in life and in all its bitterness and sweetness. When you go through the bitterness, sweetness, and all that life offers, you attain to maturity. In all its misery and joy, in all its nights and days, you learn to transcend the duality. Where would you learn to transcend from duality? By renouncing life? Certainly not. You have to learn through these polarities to move alert, conscious, so that you can remain balanced between the two, exactly in the middle, the way of Buddha. This is what initiation is. It is not renunciation. It is rejoicing life, of course, with a different quality than ordinary people live it. You have to live life more intensely, not like how ordinary people have lived it. Ordinarily, you live life unconsciously, and initiate tries to live it consciously. Initiation means the art of learning to live life consciously, going through each moment of pain and pleasure consciously. These are the polarities. Just as the 2 feet are necessary for transcendence, for walking, this polarity of day and night, good and bad, pain and pleasure are necessary to transcend. A life lived intensely and totally will take you one day beyond all dualities. And then you will become the mirror to reflect God. Remember, spirituality is the way to reflect God and godliness each moment. When you are living your life intensely, totally, and consciously, then you will realize neither pain nor pleasure is important. Both are the states, they come and go, they are transient, short-lived, ephemeral. You have to be the mirror to reflect it. You have chosen the color of the morning for the initiation. We have chosen the color of the morning for initiation to symbolize that each seeker or initiate is nothing but the birth of a new sun. That is why that is the only beginning of a long journey. If you allow this, then much will happen. But it all depends on you, how much you allow the sun to penetrate in you, how much you allow the light to penetrate in you. It is difficult to allow because it needs trust, the same trust which is needed by a child to come out of the womb of the mother. The child has lived 9 months in the womb. It was absolutely comfortable and cozy, and now suddenly he has been thrown out of this comfort, out of this home, but he has to take risk. It appears to be death in the beginning. It is bound to appear as death, because whatsoever the child has known as life is disappearing now, and he is entering into the new realm. He is moving from the known to the unknown. He does not know anything about where he is going and what is going to happen to him. Everything is in dark, but still he takes the courageous jump. He takes the courageous jump. This is what is needed by an initiate, by a seeker. Because initiation is a new birth, you are moving in an unknown territory. When you leave ego aside, you are in fact leaving your strategies, leaving your mind, your knowledge, your experiences, your conditionings. It is to leave the shore on which you have lived for so long, and you are getting into the boat. The ocean is vast and there is every kind of danger, and the other shore is invisible. There is more possibility that you may get drowned than reach the other shore, but you have to take the risk. But if you take the risk, then that very moment the other shore is reached. The moment you take the risk, that very moment you have reached the shore. It happens instantaneously. There is no time gap, because in the very taking of the risk, the moment you take the risk, ego is dropped. With ego, the old disappears. The conditionings vanish, leaving no trace behind. So be ready for this unknown journey. This unknown journey is the pilgrimage to the ultimate. This unknown journey is the pilgrimage, is the only holy pilgrimage to the holy shrine of the being. The moon represents two things which are very significant for a seeker. It represents firstly coolness. As a seeker, you have to become cool, not cold. There is a difference between coldness and cool. Coldness is death. To be cool, to be hot is one extreme, to be cold is another extreme. Passion is hot, death is cold. Exactly between the two is the point which you call cool, when compared with coldness of death and compared with the heat of passion. It is called the warmth, but it is the same point. From one side it will look warm, from the other side it will look cool. This is the middle. Middle where the opposites meet, where the opposites meet. Coolness and warmth are both there. It implies warmth because one is alive, and it is cool because one is not mad. This is one of the qualities of the moon. And the second quality is that it has light, but not its own. Moon is the mirror that reflects the light of the sun. It simply reflects the sun. It is just a mirror. An initiate has to reflect God. He has just to be the mirror. The light is not his own, so he has no ego. He lives as a vehicle for God. He is totally surrendered to God, and God's will is his only will. So these two qualities have to be remembered: coolness and the mirror-like quality. Surrender so that you can reflect that which is. If these two things are achieved, life is fulfilled. One has come back home. You have attained. Life becomes meaningful. You have known. You have arrived home. Only this much for this morning. Until Saturday, take care and do have a pleasant day.